The Associated Press published a report today on their investigation on China's surveillance state. And they found that it has been American tech companies, to a large degree, that have designed and built China's digital cage over the past quarter of a century. Billions of dollars of U.S. technology, essentially being used to keep Chinese citizens under lock and key. Now, the problem is China is exporting this technology to be used elsewhere by tyrannical governments. Wow. Joining me now to discuss this is U.S. Senator Josh Hawley of Missouri, who serves on 3 Senate committees, including the Homeland Security and Government Affairs Committee. He joined us by phone. Senator Hawley, thanks so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
I'll have to say this is pretty disturbing. I know you have long been concerned about what some of the tech companies are doing in terms of collecting information on the United States, on U.S. citizens, but I mean, this is pretty significant here.
Oh, it's hugely significant. It's hugely alarming. It ought to be a wake-up call for every American. And frankly, I mean, it's really a betrayal of what we believe in, Tony, for our own companies, these so-called American companies, to be helping the worst purveyor of evil in the world right now from a state perspective, that's China, to help them enslave their own citizens, suppress religious liberty in China. That's what these technologies are being used for. Let's make no mistake about it. And our companies are making billions of dollars by doing this.
Is that what this is about?
Lying to us about it.
Is that what this is about? It's about profit.
Money. It is. Absolutely it is. It's about profit 100%. It's why they come before Congress, take the oath, and lie to the American people and say, oh, no, we're not helping China. Listen, we had a whistleblower from Facebook, top Facebook executive Sarah Wynne Williams, who testified just a couple of months ago that Facebook was deeply involved in China, helping China with its AI technology, helping them with their surveillance technology. We're talking about not Chinese companies they were helping the Chinese government
and
Communist
military
Party to. Exactly. Today's reporting confirms it. And this is it is sickening.
So Senator, this ties into some recent polling we've seen where more and more Americans actually do not think capitalism works. They are being drawn to this idea of socialism. My argument, Senator, is that capitalism works when it's anchored to morality, but when it's driven by profit, this is the type of things that we get. And yes, I can see why people are turning against capitalism if this is all we have to offer.
Well, if all we're going to guide ourselves by, if our lodestar is going to be, how can I make a profit no matter what corners I cut, no matter who I steal, cheat, lie to, then, yeah, you're going to get this kind of behavior. But you're exactly right, Tony. That's never been how we practiced capitalism in the United States of America, or not how we've aspired to. We've said, no, capitalism is supposed to be about lifting up families, communities, churches. And let's be honest, it's because of the Christian influence that's been true. It's because we've had a free market that has been based on principles rooted in the gospel. Right. And as that erodes, you're seeing this kind of predatory behavior from the biggest corporations in the world.
So to be very clear, I support free markets. I support capitalism tethered to morality, which historically has been the case. There's been many instances in the history of our country where they got untethered, but we brought them back. But this is the type of this is the outcome. Enslaving people over their religious convictions, over their minority status, simply to make a dollar.
And look what they're doing at home, Tony, at the exact same time. They are stealing the innocence of our children by allowing chatbots to engage in sexually explicit conversations with 8- and 9-year-olds. That's Facebook that I'm talking about. They're trying to addict our children to the worst kind of content on their platforms, all about making a buck,
making money,
all about making their money, exactly, with no thought to the consequences. You're exactly right.
So, Senator Hawley, all right, we've identified the problem. What's the solution? I mean, part of it is the moral condition of America, and that's what each of us have to do in sharing our faith and standing up and being bold about our faith. But there's a role for government here, too, is there not?
Well, absolutely, because the thing that we call the law, which structures our markets and structures our economy and makes capitalism possible, the laws reflect our shared values. In this case, our shared biblically rooted values like thou shalt not steal. You shall not cause harm to children. Think about what Jesus said about those who cause harm to children. I mean, it would be better for them to be thrown into the sea. So this is something I think that these tech executives ought to listen to. What's that mean practically? It means that we need to say that it ought to be illegal in this country to allow chatbots to have sexually explicit conversations with 8-year-olds. It ought to be illegal in this country to sell technology that is surveillance technology to a police state like China when you know what they're using it for. I mean, this is just about putting common sense guardrails in place that protect what we believe in.
Senator, oftentimes, though, the government really kind of sets the standard, the benchmark. Last week, a House Select Committee on China released groundbreaking investigation, and they reported that they found more than $2.5 billion in taxpayer money was used during the Biden administration to conduct research with defense entities backed by the Chinese Communist Party. Why would our government be doing that?
No, it's really sickening, and we do it in all kinds of ways, Tony. The government does. Here's something else that the government does commonly. We give government contracts to private entities, groups like the McKinsey Company, for example, consultants who advise the Defense Department on important sensitive topics and projects, and then turn around and advise the Chinese military, the Communist Party and the military on their projects, and we pay them. We pay them going and coming. It's ludicrous. To your point, it sets a standard, and the standard is the wrong one.
Right.
The standard is too low. It sends the wrong message. We've got to clean up our own house, and that starts with the U.S. government, what's going on at DOD, and then we've got to set a standard for our companies, which is that, you know what? Yeah, we're going to ask you to protect our children. Don't destroy our children. Don't compromise our liberties. Don't destroy what makes us Americans.
Senator Hawley, we just have about a minute left. My argument would be we're in the best position to do this now. We have a Republican president who is inclined toward this. We have a Republican House, slim majority. We have a majority, although not a operating majority in the supermajority in the Senate. Is this not the time to address these issues?
100%. If not now, when? You know, if not for this issue, for what issue? I mean, this is absolutely the time to do it, to protect what we believe in, our national security, to protect our families and our children. But importantly, Tony, what you and I were just talking about, we shouldn't be afraid to say this as Christians. We need to protect the values and principles that make us Americans. It is right that our law should reflect those principles. And boy, it doesn't get any more important than protecting liberty, protecting kids.
You're absolutely right. Senator Josh Hawley, always great to have you on the program. Thanks so much for joining us today.
Thanks for having me.